And we're back here at Boom and Bust. I'm your host, Tony Clement, here with Dr. Leslyn Lewis. She is a member of Parliament, and she is also a candidate for the leadership of the Conservative Party of Canada. Leslyn, obviously one of the areas where Conservatives seek to do better is in certain urban ridings. I think of Toronto, I think of Montreal, I think of Vancouver, where where Conservatives haven't had that historic success in the last 3 election cycles anyway. Do you have plans to sort of tackle urban issues and that disconnect that the party has currently?
I think that what we need to do, Tony, is we actually need to physically get into those areas and to let the people understand that their values are reflected in our party. Many people that live in the urban areas, a lot of them are from immigrant backgrounds, and inherently they share our values. They share conservative values, but we haven't been able to connect with them on a values level to let them know that there's a place within our party for them. And that's some of the work that I intend to do, that I intend to continue to do, because it is a very, very important part of winning the next election.
Are there kind of policy areas? I guess housing would be one of them that springs to mind immediately, because that's an issue everywhere, of course, but particularly in our urban areas. Are these the kinds of things that we would be talking about, or that Conservatives would be talking about rather, when they are seeking to campaign under your leadership?
Absolutely. Housing affordability is something that is very, very pressing for urban areas. It's pressing for all over the country, but specifically in urban areas where the cost of housing has just skyrocketed. And it is an issue of supply. We just do not have enough supply. And although the Liberals said that they intend to build 100,000 homes, I think when you look at the stress on the urban areas, the number needs to probably be closer to 1 million homes. And what we have to do is we have to start looking at the infills. We have a lot of urban spaces too that we just have not developed. In addition, we have a lot of crown lands that is just sitting there that are close to urban areas that we also have not developed. I think we need to incentivize builders to purchase that land. And perhaps what we could do is we could reduce some of the costs for, say, the development costs that would be passed on to the purchasers, so that we can make housing more affordable. We also have to look at making sure that we are optimizing housing, that we have the densities to be able to deal with the high density capacity within the city. So that's a major issue, housing affordability.
Actually, great points. And connected to that, of course, is the Conservative Party's failure over the last, again, 3 election cycles to connect with millennial voters and now Generation Z, Zillennial voters. Do you have any thoughts on your candidacy and how you can connect with those voters as well?
Affordability is big for them. When you speak to them, that's the first thing that comes out of their mouth, that they don't want to continue to live in their parents' basement. They want to have the dream of being able to own a home. They want to be able to fill up their gas tank. And if they don't have a car, they want to be able to have affordable, accessible transportation. And so through transfer payments from the government, from the federal government to provincial government, we can deal with things like infrastructural development that will affect the areas such as transportation, which is big for the millennials. And another issue that's big for them is the environment. And as you know, I have a master's of environmental studies, so I take that area very seriously. And I believe that there are ways that we can improve the environment without a carbon tax. And my policies focus on doing that largely through enhanced green technology and innovative technology.
Are you getting a sense that these voters, these younger voters, are starting to look for alternatives to the Trudeau Liberals now?
Many of them are, because they don't like the approach of government knows best. Government will tell you what you can watch on the internet. Government will dictate your algorithms. They are more free spirited. And when they see the Liberal government moving into that type of leadership, that type of dogmatic leadership, many of them are questioning whether this is the party that they could align themselves with. And they're finding that they're not. And so they're looking for places that their votes that they could call their home.
We're having a discussion with Dr. Leslyn Lewis. She is a member of Parliament and candidate for the leadership of the Conservative Party of Canada. We're going to have another round of questions for her right after this break, so please stay with us. We'll be right back.